Welcome to Blinkers Off with your hosts, Jared Welch and Aaron Halterman.
Well, what is up? I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. It is Thursday, December 7th, and this is Blinkers Off. What's up, man?
What's up, dude? What's up, everybody? How's it going?
It's good. We are the slot right here before Magic Mike, and I'm going to enjoy every last second of this to try to make Magic sweat this one out to see when his show will actually start. So I love it.
All right.
He's already worried about it. So I love the fact that I can just if I feel like when we were, if we're making good time, we can just slow her down.
I think we could. Yeah. Anything to make Magic's life horrible, right?
I mean, that's what I strive for, really.
Right, that's
I got my little dude running around here, so there's this, it's back to the turtle days. We'll see what we can, we can get into. I showed him the gnomes, the aftermath of the gnomes, and he thought that was he's very worried about the gnomes, to be honest.
Well, the gnomes they're surviving barely. They're hanging on by a thread here at the house. Yeah, another attack last night on the gnomes. Hopefully they can make it another night. Who knows?
When you sent me that, I originally kind of just woke up. I kind of looked at it. I was like, I thought that was like the head had been ripped off of one. It's like there was a body and a head, but then I realized it was two. So
yeah, two of them. Yeah, no, it's been crazy. It's been absolutely crazy, man. She just every night the gnomes die in the house. So she almost broke a glass last night as well. She knocked one over. Thank God it didn't break. So
have you guys started putting them in like funny spots just to see if she'll if they'll survive the night? That's what I would do.
We moved them up like a shelf, and that didn't seem to matter. We haven't hid them really. We keep them in the same area, but yeah, I mean, it's still early. So that might be a test.
All right. So we are into the first week of December, and news broke. I guess broke is the kind of a very maybe not the right word, but no. That Saratoga is going to host the Belmont Stakes this year, 2024, and we're going to have it going a mile and a quarter. So this is for some reason has spurred on, which I don't understand. It spurred on like a ton of like issues with this, and I mean, I don't quite understand that, but let me know your thoughts.
I think it's amazing your outlook on the world when you're not on any platforms. Like, I'm sure they're stirring up all kinds of drama. I didn't even give this a thought. Past cool, we'll go to Saratoga. Like, I haven't even, I gotta be honest, it hasn't even like entered my mind to be upset or mad or anything about it. So I don't know. Look, it's at a mile and a quarter. Get over it. It's at Saratoga. Get over it. They're building a new Belmont. I mean, what the fuck you want them to do? You want to run an aqueduct? You want to run in front of no people at Belmont? I mean,
want to just not have the race? I mean, there's limited options. It's at Saratoga. I don't know how you can complain. And my thoughts were, and this is coming from somebody that you and I have kind of fought on like for a while. Like, okay, the Triple Crown, don't touch it. To you kind of being like, no, I mean, listen. And then I've kind of transitioned since last year, just being like, okay, what are we doing, right? The Triple Crown. I mean, if you're not going to fix it, if you're not going to make then we might as well not have it. And to me, it's like, if that's what people are upset about, that the Triple Crown isn't the mountain, at least it's 3 weeks, right? It's still the 5 or 3 races in 5 weeks. But if that's what you're upset about, it's like, let's be honest, like this is just the start, right? I think, in my opinion, like this is going to be like, I don't think that, to me, if you're like the Triple Crown, like you got to keep the, if you're the historic person, like, well, this is the beginning, in my opinion, of what needs to happen in changing things up.
I've come completely to a different place with this. I've fought on both sides of it. I couldn't care less what they do to it. I just don't care, because at the end of the day, I can't do anything about it. You can't do anything about it. The people that make decisions in horse racing, for the most part, are idiots. but we can't change it. So we really have the option of yelling at the clouds at everything they do, or just betting the races, because that's really, when it all comes down to it, what 90% of us care about. Just betting the race. And they'll have the race and we'll bet it, and people will complain one way or the other. And I have just totally taken a step back from all of that crap. And I've been in the middle of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh, I'm above it. I'm not. I've been in the middle of it, yelling, screaming at it. I've just taken a step back from all of it and said, I have one job, and that's to handicap the races.
Yeah. Whatever race they put in front of you, that's what you got to bet or hang.
Yeah. And that's it. My only job, and the only thing I can control, and the only thing that I need to be doing, when the race card comes out, I handicap what's on that page and I leave it. And you know what? I've been a lot better handicapper since I've done that. And I have cared a lot less about shit I have no control over since I've done that. And again, I struggle. Like Samich texts, he's like, I can't believe all these people are mad. And you guys are talking. I struggled to really read it because I just don't care anymore. They're going to do the dumbest thing most times.
Oh, yeah.
You have to assume that. That is the sport.
Even past that, I'm at a point now where it's like, well, what are we hanging on to, right? Like, it's not like it's this perfect system we have in place. And it's not like, let's not say the college playoffs, like that obviously needs to be fixed after this year, but something that in a sport that's like, okay, don't mess with it. Like, no matter what, you make sure you don't change a single thing, because it's like March Madness, right? Don't mess with March Madness. It's perfect. But this is not perfect. Our system, the Triple Crown, is dwindling, right? It's not in a good way. And so to me, it's like, and in general at horse racing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I mean, you say
you want to do this, let's try it. You want to try it, let's run it this way. Let's go this way. I don't like, why does it matter now?
I think a lot of historians will go, this is the way it's been forever, and it's got to be this way, and anything different cheapens it. At the same time, it's like a horse that really had just got suspended out of the Santa Anita Derby that wouldn't even have been in the Kentucky Derby, but was in the Kentucky Derby and won the Triple Crown, and now is he a Triple Crown champion or not? That kind of stuff to me cheapens it a lot more than adjusting it. Real honestly. And I don't know what it is, but I really haven't cared about this series of races from a fanboy standpoint as much as I have in the past. And I think a lot of it is the Derby's kind of been a mess, and the Baffert thing. And it's just like, and you just watch racing, and it's just like, yeah, they're not going to do anything one way or the other that's going to be progressive. So I'll just handicap whatever they give me, and we'll go on. If I felt I could make a video and it would change something, then I would do it. But I know I can't do that. So
I guess I'll add, even though I think you and I are kind of on the same page, we're kind of like, who cares?
I hate to be that way.
Look at 2020 when we had, the COVID year and everything was reordered, and it was like, oh, if there's a Triple Crown, like what would it mean? Well, obviously it didn't happen. In this case, if say Fierceness, that's the only horse I could think of, but Fierceness goes and wins the Triple Crown and wins at Saratoga going a mile and a quarter. Does it cheapen it at all in your eyes? Does it matter to you in your eyes? Do you give it, you know what I mean? Like, do you even care?
I wouldn't think it. People are going to go nuts, but no, I don't think it cheapens it. It is what it is. Like, every sport changes. You even said, don't ever mess with March Madness. They messed with March Madness literally like 5 years ago and added 4 teams. And I don't think any college basketball fan at the end of the season went, well, this team won the national title, but it's not like it used to be. So they don't count.
In MLB, you got the one game playing games now, and in NFL, you've got the one team gets a bye versus the 2 it used to be, and then you've got more teams getting in. Yeah. I mean, you're right. These major sports do change the system of playoffs all the time. And what does that mean for a team like the Bulls or something like that in the NBA versus, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you could do that all day. Yeah, exactly. You could do that all day. The reality is, and that's kind of where I finally got to a point where because I was the same way. I was very much like, don't mess with it. Don't mess with it. Like, it cheapens it, and then I kind of got to a point where I'm like, you know what? this game isn't the same game as it was. This is a totally different game, and we need to we need to change it because I'm watching this every year I feel like getting worse and worse. And I mean the Triple Crown series, where it's just like, ugh, like it just is not exciting anymore. We need to do something different because whatever is working the old way, the 1950s, the 1960s, 70s, it ain't working anymore.
Well, let's say this. What's more popular, the NHL or horse racing?
NHL, right?
College basketball or horse racing?
College, yes.
College football or horse racing?
All things more popular than horse racing.
NFL, MLB, NBA, they're all exponentially more popular than horse racing. And it's not even really close, some of these. Right? Like, I don't, like I'm probably the biggest hockey fan maybe in the whole state of Missouri, right? They have made so many changes to the game to make it better. But when the Blues won the Stanley Cup like 3 years ago, did I go, well, yeah, we did win it, but it wasn't like it was when I was 12, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Of course not. And guess what? I enjoy the games a lot more because they have people that are smart, that are trying to make decisions to help the game. Now, the second part of that is where horse racing probably is lacking in a lot of areas, but changes to your sport are not a bad thing.
In fact, it should be welcomed, and especially in relation to what we're talking about in horse racing. Like, what about this game in the last 3 years, let's just say, or 5 years, have you been like, you know what, that is awesome, that is perfect, they've done a great job with that? It's very, very, very few and far between, right?
I'm trying to think.
I mean, aside from like maybe like an example would be like I mean, we're gonna talk about Oaklawn today. Oaklawn starting earlier, I think, is awesome, and running later. Like that was a good call. But like that's more like track to track basis. Like every track, I feel like has done a thing here and there between the last several years where it's like, yeah, that was a good idea.
I give Oaklawn credit. I give Gulfstream credit for creating the Pegasus, which, by the way, was just tooth and nail fought by a lot of these same dickheads that are out there fighting about this today, with Saratoga. And it's just like, all they're trying to do is make a massive day in January for you to bet. I mean, how terrible. But anyway, I think the Pegasus, people will probably lose their minds that I say this, but I think that's been really good for racing. Pegasus, Oaklawn, definitely been good. Yeah, I can't really. I'm in there with the caveat is I'm sure there are other things I'm just not thinking of, but those two things jump out of my head.
Point is like there's been very, very few things that you can like hang your hat on and say, well, good job racing. This is horse racing. This has been a great idea or a great addition or whatever.
Well, I will say they did a really good job during COVID, they being a few tracks that said, we're not shutting down. We will operate this the best we can. So COVID, they deserve credit for those tracks that stayed open.
Oh, for sure.
That's something.
I mean,
yeah,
that was huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, really, that seems more common sense than.
Again, look, we're talking about Oaklawn and Gulfstream. Those were the two big ones, right?
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, which I think Tampa runs a pretty good track. And then the Oklahoma tracks, which are operated on reservations, so they don't have any jurisdiction over them. They can do what they want. And then Fauner up in Nebraska, which is kind of the same thing. So, and Los Al, they stay open.
Shoddy says our new commissioner. Is that supposed to be polling now? I don't know. Is that I saw he elected himself, so what a guy to have that.
I mean, that would be the perfect guy to absolutely ruin horses' lives forever. So yeah, let's do it. I'm sure everybody's in on that one. So
it's like the guy that's just like, no one. It's like a subject that no one cares about or like doesn't even consider him. So when he's like, oh yeah, I'm the commissioner now, everyone's like, cool. And then it's like I think he's literally going to try to talk himself into this position where all of a sudden he's going to trump himself into office, basically, where it's just like, if I keep saying it and willing it into existence, it will actually happen at some point.
I think in his own head it might actually happen. Yeah. Yeah. But
all right. So
I say this with 100% confidence. That would be awful. That would be awful.
But I also would say, well, I don't want to say this because I'll probably prove me wrong. But it's like, is it going to be worse? Is it worse? I mean, is it
fair?
Make it worse?
Fair.
I
fair.
mean, I
Very
guess
fair.
we probably could if if one guy like that is making the choices, then maybe because a bad choice might be better than no choice. But still, I don't know.
I know too much insider stuff on that guy, so I'm not gonna. I think it could be worse. Yeah.
When you talk about healthcare and wellness and all that, and you're like, okay,
Jesus.
that's not awesome.
No.
All right, there you go. There's our thoughts on Belmont Stakes. Will you be there at Saratoga in 2024? You think?
Yeah, I think so. I think we should, right?
It's going to be like a once in a who knows, but as of now, once in a lifetime situation to have Saratoga host just be cool to see them. We're always used to being there in the middle of the summer. Kind of neat to be there in June, early June. So, that place will be buzzing. That's one thing about it. That town, they'll do it right.
Yeah, so. It's a great win for Saratoga Springs for sure. And as a fan of Saratoga Springs as I am, and you are obviously as well, it's a big win for them. And it's not perfect with the distance and all that stuff, but it's a big win for Saratoga. I think people will really enjoy themselves that weekend, and after that, you can go yell at each other or the clouds as much as you want. I don't care, but it's good for Saratoga.
So I didn't read much into it just because I've been busy the last couple of days. But is it like the whole Belmont meet is going to be at Saratoga and they're going to run the Belmont there as well? Is that how it's going to work?
So what's going to happen is they're going to go up to Saratoga for that weekend. And then they're going back to Aqueduct.
Oh.
And then they're going back to Saratoga.
Okay. You can't leave poor Aqueduct out. That's the issue. So,
which I did find a little odd, but again, I have two options. I could go yell at people in the clouds, or I could go, well, that's fucking stupid, and just go about my day.
Well, the other part too is if you try to figure that out, like it'll just hurt your brain. So. There you go. So we're going to run at Saratoga for 1 week to go back to Aqueduct, the cesspool of Aqueduct. And then we're going Aqueduct. What was that shirt you made? Aqueduct.
Aqueduct Adequate.
Adequate. Yeah. Aqueduct Adequate. And then we'll go back to Saratoga for the actual summer meet. All right, guys. Let's get into today's show. We're going to preview and get picked for Oaklawn Park's opening weekend. That's right. They kick things off tomorrow, 2023-2024. Meet kicks off Friday, December 8th. So we'll take a look at the weekend racing at Oaklawn Park. And they're going to some rapid fire selections for Saturday's remaining stakes races, some of them. And then the big one here, we're going to make everyone wait. Then we're going to announce the Triple Crown Fantasy Horse Racing League draft order. I know you got everything set up for that. I know a lot of I'm sure you've been getting bugged about it all day about when it's going to be and what the order is going to be. So we will do that last. So make all you guys see. I really just want the views. I don't want the listens and the views. I want you to stick around. I'm not going to tell you when, but it's going to happen at some point later in the show. So stay tuned for that. Let's go. I'm going to push it as long as I can to see when I get the 8th pick in the draft.
Okay.
No, we're going to do it, Shoddy. Listen, I've
already got you wrote down as the 10th. So I don't know what to talk about 8th.
Hey, if you do that, I love that idea because it's like, I can only go up from there. It can only get better. So, no. Yeah, thanks. We're going to do it, Shoddy, because this is going to be, we don't have this is rapid fire, these running through and, we're going to get this done in an hour or by the Magic Mike show. Don't you worry.
Okay.
I know people are you really that worried about the Magic Mike show? Come on.
Yeah.
You that excited?
Hey, to prolong the show, Michael says he's very happy with Matt Dinnerman. Hope he does well. I am too. I'm very excited for him. What do you think about Matt Dinnerman's debut at Oaklawn tomorrow, actually?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I'm excited for him. I think he's a great. I mean, we've kind of become, sort of online friends with him over the years, and just, I mean, I've never really I've liked his calls. I think he's a young, hungry guy that likes horse, like actually enjoys the sport, and so yeah, I think he's the right guy for. He's gonna be better. He's going to be better. I know that much. What we see from him in terms of the big picture, like what we've had at Oaklawn all the years, I guess we'll find out. I personally loved Frank when he was there for a short stint, but
yeah,
he's going to be better than what we had. So I know that much
for sure. I hope. I think living in Hot Springs is going to be wildly different from where he's been, and I hope he adjusts well there. Not that Hot Springs is a terrible place; it's not, but it's very much different from where he's called races in the past. So, I think that'll be a little bit of adjustment, but that's a personal thing. That's not what he's going to do professionally. I think professionally he's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be fun for him to actually, I think, to like have that like big. I mean, Oaklawn's not Saratoga or Naira racing, but it's up there for sure. And finally get like that exposure, because like it's like the guys in racing that follow it day in, day out. We all know them, but maybe if you only follow certain meets or whatever, you may not be too familiar with them. And so it's kind of cool to have him get his quote unquote shot, and let people see because he is a good race caller. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's just it, right? If you can watch a race at Oak like that, and that's like in a nutshell of horse racing. But it's like if you can just watch a race and know, like, okay, I know what horses are here. I know what the horses are going to be called the right names. The numbers are going to be called correctly. Like the bar is so low that it's going to be great.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, it's going to be. I'm very happy for Matt, and I think he's going to do an excellent job.
All right, time for Rapid Fire, presented by Oaklawn Park. And how about that, Matt Dinnerman? We'll give him a little shout out there. He can sponsor Rapid Fire, or we could do a shout out too. No, we won't. We won't do the old announcer. We'll keep it at it's a new one. No, we don't want to talk about the old one. All right, let's go into Oaklawn Park, Halterman. I know it's one of our favorite days of the year. Every single year, it feels like Oaklawn starting. Saratoga, obviously, opening day. Those are our the two big ones. You talk about. I would argue for you in particular that it's Will Rogers. I don't want to talk Will Rogers for you. Maybe would throw it in there, but Oaklawn opening day might be right up there with Kentucky Derby day. You love yourself some Oaklawn Park. That's where it all started for the racing dudes.
Oh, absolutely. This is home for sure, and I love that it's back. And it's definitely different than it used to be, right? It used to be Martin Luther King Jr. Weekend it would start, and which was, third weekend in January. But we get it early, and that's great. It's like I said, it's a little bit different feel, but I'm super pumped for it. Definitely will be watching tomorrow, and it's kind of just getting used to that new schedule. This is year 3 of it, and I think the adjustment is getting easier each year now.
Yeah, I remember when it first started, and I started, telling people it's like, oh, we're, Oaklawn's running today, and it was like December something. They're like, what? That's awesome! I had no idea. And we've always said it, like, because people don't really maybe realize unless you're from this area, like our worst weather, and I say ours is in Missouri and Arkansas and Oklahoma, and like our worst winter weather is like January and February. And so, December is not bad at all, really. In fact, today's a beautiful day here in Missouri. I mean, it could not be better for December standards. And so we're always like, we have these great days, and we get to February and the weather sucks. I mean, we've been snowed in down there before, literally snowed in down there before. And so it's like, yeah, it makes sense to take advantage of these great days. And then not to mention, you push it on further past April, where you get on the beautiful days. So it helps with the meet in terms of just having more race days ran and just enjoyable weather. It's like, it sure as hell beats going down to Oaklawn on, January or February and, not being able to see them on the backstretch, just snowing so hard or being stuck in a Super 8 hotel because we can't get home.
All things that have happened, by the way.
Both of those are true stories. So, welcome back, Oaklawn. I think the weather is going to be perfect for opening day, and we'll kick things off for opening day, which is race 9. It's funny, they have all these like Christmas themed race names. You got the Advent, you got the Ring the Bell, and you got the Mistletoe this weekend. But you got the Advent Stakes on Friday. This is race 9 with 150K going 5.5 furlongs for 2-year-old colts, going 5.5 furlongs at Oaklawn. What could go wrong, Halterman? What do you think of this field?
Yeah, I did laugh at the stakes names. I was doing the previews for Magic. It's like the Advent, the Mistletoe. I laughed after I got done with the Mistletoe. I said, "Boy, they're really really creative with these names."
Oh yeah, yeah, they're definitely in the spirit, or at least trying to be. So,
but anyway, listen. You're right. It's 12 2-year-olds at Oaklawn in December, but you know what? It's kind of a good race, really. For the purse size and everything. They really drew a competitive field. I ended up going with the number 10 Valentine Candy. I think there's just horses. I think there's races on this horse's past performance that kind of just look a little bit better than the rest of these. I think his best effort, talking about number 10 Valentine Candy, going to be good enough to win. Asmussen, and look at that, Ramon Vasquez, he's back, Jared. I know that's kind of exciting. For years and years, we've yelled, "Come on, Ramon," as he was making his move on the outside of horses there. So it's great to have him back at Oaklawn. Really loved his run there at Santa Anita. But like I said on the preview video, I'm glad Ramon is home because Oaklawn should be home for Ramon. That's how I view it anyway. So I went with number 10, Valentine Candy, to kick it off.
Yeah, he was the guy, man. Like, and then obviously he's a very good jockey, so he moved on and got, but it's like, it's great to have him back, and it's like, I guess he's going to be the guy, right?
Seems it
for Asmussen, like we typically see in Santana Asmussen combo for so many years that was just deadly, and maybe it's going to be Vasquez this year. But listen, I went with Asmussen as well, but I went with the one on the outside of him. How about number 11, Bye Bye Liam? Listen, I'm kind of in the thought process of this race is like, okay, I think your horse there, Valentine Candy. I agree with everything you said, but they're going 5.5 furlongs for 2-year-olds. A lot of funky things could happen. It's hard to, we know how Oaklawn is. Bye Bye Liam is going to have a son on the mount as well. But this is a horse that, didn't debut quite so well. But of course, it was on the turf. Came to the dirt last time out and looked like a different horse. I think the pace set up for this one will be nice. In terms of it looks like there's some speed in the race, and he was 27-1 that day. You're going to get 10-1 on the morning line anyways. You're going to get a lot of that, I would think, here as well. And more than anything, I'm hoping that there is some sort of progression sired by Bolt de Oro out of a Street Sense mare. Got to think that obviously this horse is going to. It's kind of weird the horse was trying turf for the first race, but you got to think that this horse will continue to get better. And if he does, like, he ran a 79 buyer on that debut. I mean, that 85 is a high buyer for Valentine Candy. I don't see any reason why Bye Bye Liam couldn't improve off that 79 dirt debut. So give me the 11 Bye Bye Liam, the other Asmussen.
That's who I had in second.
Hey, there you go. I feel better. That's the only one, right? Yeah. Let's go to not there. What do you think about is that who would you say is as I pull that up? Who is your? Let's do this. Who's your who would you say is a favorite to win training and jockey titles this year? Out there.
Asmussen and Ramon, of course.
Hey.
Probably Ricardo. Ricardo probably wins it, but listen, I'm rooting for Ramon.
Be funny if it's because of the because of the Asmussen connection, Ramon gets it.
That used to happen. Like Luis Quinones used to win the Oaklawn title when he was riding for Asmussen, right? So, yeah. Do you remember? And I cannot remember the guy's name. I can see his face I cannot remember his name. The same agent had Ramon and Ricardo for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Do you remember him? I can't remember that guy's name.
He was always there, though.
Yeah, we used to talk to him.
That's the one great thing that there's a lot of great things about Oaklawn, but it's from, we've been to 1,000 tracks. It's just like, you go to Oaklawn, man, and everyone's so accessible. You just, you run it, you'd be watching a race next to, name whatever trainer you like, and he could be right there next to you, or like you said, a jockey or a former jockey, or the comment, analysts or whatever. Like it's just a very open, welcoming kind of place, and like everyone's fans, and it's just a really cool vibe.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to Gulfstream Park on Saturday. We're gonna move to Saturday now. Race number 6, the Way to Wild Stakes. These stakes things are awesome this weekend. The Way to Wild Stakes worth $100K, going 7 1/2 furlongs on the turf for 2-year-olds, 2-year-old fillies. Field of 10 lines up here. Interesting field, I thought. You got the 7 Azara for Clement at 8-5, but I do think there's some interesting ones in here. But I think that 6 might be very interesting, at 8-1. But the way I looked at this race, I kind of thought the 7 stood out quite a bit. What do you think?
I'm with you. I went number 7, Ozara. We're going to talk about both these Gulfstream races. I got a little bit crazy. No, not crazy, but I didn't go the favorite in the next one. But this one, I did go with the favorite, number 7, Ozara. Look, nice win on debut. Ran okay in the Talma up at Woodbine. I thought ran pretty good in a very similar race to this last time out at Belmont at the Big A. Got second, only beating a length and a quarter. I think Ozara is in a real good spot. Really good connections. I think Ozara gets it done.
Yeah, that's kind of where I ultimately ended up too. I think Azara just I don't know, just felt like this is a race that I kind of went into it thinking I would try to beat her, but you look at kind of the races she's ran. She didn't. She finished 8th or beaten 8, I should say. Finished 4th in the Natama, but came back. I think she maybe just went a little too quick, or a little too soon, I should say. Like kind of made her move a little too soon with Dylan Davis. I like the fact that Irad gets them out for Clement, and to me that tells me it's like, 1, the horse is doing well, and 2, he thinks that's the best horse in the race that can win the thing. So give me the 7 Azara. I just think this is a combination of being the best horse in the race and a weaker field. So let's move on to race number 11. This is the Pulpit Stakes. It's worth $100K, going 7.5 furlongs on the turf for 2-year-old colts. And same race basically for the colts here. Field of 11 lined up here. And yeah, you kind of mentioned this is a race that you maybe went a little bit more weird. And I don't hate it. I think this is an interesting race. You got noted in here at 9-5. It's kind of one of those things. It's like, yes, he's probably the best horse in the race. Back on the turf, kind of what we all wondered why the horse was in the juvenile, but I guess they saw the purse and wanted to roll with that, but did not run well in the juvenile. Back on the turf, shortening up as well.
I get it if you're going to pick noted. I don't hate it. I went with Palm Tree, the number 5 horse on top, though. I said I didn't go that wild, but I am going to go against the favorites. So number 5, Palm Tree, getting back, cutting back in distance just a bit after running pretty decent in the Bourbon last time out, a grade 2 race. But, the race at 6.5 furlongs at Kentucky Downs, maiden special weight, looked pretty darn good. Now we're going 7.5. So, I know that's different. It's 2 turns here, but still, I think this is going to be the perfect distance for this horse. Gets Luis Saez aboard today. I think that's a really nice jockey upgrade. I think we're going to try to just go to the front and hold him off here. I like the number 5 Palm Tree. So I'm going to take a shot against noted with number 5 Palm Tree.
Yeah, here I am saying it's a race that is got options, and I'm going to take the 8 noted. I just, the way I looked at it, I couldn't really land on a horse that I felt really great about. And, you talked about off air before we hopped on. We were talking about Dornick and how good he looked in the Rimson, and which he did. And this is a horse noted who now is on dirt, but still, it's a classy horse. Beat Dornick, beat Frankie's Empire at Monmouth this past summer. Finished second in the Bourbon, a grade 2 Bourbon on the turf by nose. It's just a good horse, like a classy horse. I think you just scratch out the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. When you do that, I think he stands out especially at this distance. I think it's a nice kind of, okay, let's regroup off of that race. Here's where he belongs. 9-5. I'm taking the number 8 noted. But I will say this, before we move, I don't. This is a big race for him.
Yep.
Because you showed that he's got it. You got a nice one. Lost the Bourbon, which is fine. Ran well. But Juvenile was a disaster. What were you doing? I mean, if this horse doesn't rebound after that, then I don't know what do you really do with him next, you know?
It was an odd enough move where I'm like, do they really think this horse is any good? I'm not sure. It's weird. I don't know. And again, I'm probably overthinking it and he'll win, but I just thought, take a shot here. It's kind of just strange handling, and
It was
from a
so
barn that's
weird.
pretty good at handling. That's the other thing. So
It was so weird that it made you believe the horse might win, right? Or not win, but would run well
right
in the juvenile, because you're like, this never happens. Like with him, surely this horse is good enough to do it. Or like if he's not gonna, like, because the turf, like this horse would have had a decent shot. Anyways. All right, let's go to Los Al on Saturday. We've got the Grade 2 Starlet Stakes. This is race number 9 on Saturday. We're 200K going to mile 16th for 2-year-old fillies. Field of 6 lines up here. Bob Baffert's got your two of your three top 3 choices. Nothing Like You, your 9-5 favorite. 5-2 on Grazia, the 6 horse, and Chattelis. Chattelis is 2-1 for Glatt. Look, Bob Baffert, I believe, what is this? Like, he's going for 6 or 7 of these in a row. Is that right? Starlets, and he looks to have a great chance to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of get a little, sometimes these early California races do get a little boring because it's a lot of times, well, it's Baffert. I went with the quote unquote other Baffert at 5-2. I went with Grazia. Gets Flavian Pratt aboard, and we've kind of seen this story when Muth and Prince of Monaco ran against each other, and Pratt would join or went on Prince of Monaco, or like, well, I don't know what's going on there. And then he dominated. I kind of think it might happen with Grazia here. Just one race for this horse, 1 by 3 1/4. Horses by Uncle Mo out of a Malibu Moon mare. First race was 6 furlongs. I think we'll get a little better stretching out to mile 16th. I think she might get the lead too, like by herself. So give me the number 6. I'll go with the 5-2 Baffert over the 9-5 Baffert.
Yeah, 7. He's had 6 wins in a row this race. He's going for 7 here, and I mean, if you look at this field, I guess Chattelis could be the one, right? But if you're to me, it's gonna be. I think you're gonna get 7 out of him here, and it's not like it's hard. He's got to beat 4 other horses. Really, if you count the 2 he's got. So. I went with the 1, Nothing Like You. To me, it's more about a little bit more of the class level versus the 6. I do think it's interesting that the 6 shows up here, gets Pratt off of 1 start, whereas Nothing Like You has been a horse that, Nothing Like You is a weird one because it took her 4 starts to break her maiden, and she finally did, and did it by 6 and beat a nice field with a bunch of comeback winners. And then turn that race into another win, coming off of it a little bit, which I thought I like. So this, to me, it shows versatility with the horse. You kind of mentioned the 6 you think might be on the lead. I don't disagree. And so for that reason, I like the 1 because it does offer the 1 and Hernandez some options in case this horse doesn't get to want to go to the lead. Obviously, they're going to have something worked out between the 2 because they're both trained by Bob Baffert. But I think this horse shows enough versatility to get the job done. What do you think of the race in a bigger sense? Bob Baffert, obviously, let's say he wins 7 in a row, whichever one. Like, are these any? I mean, it's just been such a hard group to figure out when it comes to these, West Coast fillies. When it comes to the Oaks, any thoughts? It's just more of a wait and see thing.
Yeah, wait and see. It's hard to really say. The fillies from the West have not been the greatest the last few years, so that's hard to kind of gauge them at this moment. And look, I don't know because we just haven't seen enough of these 2 Bafferts. I think we kind of know Chattelis is not like great. Like if Chattelis wins, and this isn't a great group, right? Yeah. Like she's kind of a measuring stick. She's not awful, but it's just kind of like if one of these Bafferts can't beat her, then this is probably not that good of a race. So I think after it, we'll be able to kind of have a lot better gauge on that.
Well, yeah, she is. She's a weird one. She gets smoked by Tamara in the debutante. She wins the Chandler. Then she comes back in the Breeders' Cup and just is beyond bad. Never really ran a step, really, frankly. So I think it's safe to say she's not a world beater by any since, but yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how she runs. If she wins, like you said, then it kind of tells you these two Baffords they're not the ones, you know. But I'm with you. That's been a weird division for the Phillies on the West Coast. I'm trying to think of it.
Well, you thought you had one, and then she didn't run very well, in the Breeders' Cup. But so with Tamara or whatever, yeah.
What will we see from her next, or when will we see her next? I mean, obviously she had a little bit of a chip of some sort, they said, and I don't know how long she'll be off.
I don't either.
But it wouldn't be it's one of those things, especially who she's trained by. It wouldn't be surprising if we don't see her until the summer, like that could be that kind of layoff.
Agree. I totally agree. Yep.
Certainly not gonna force her back anytime soon. It's the West Coast Phillies division in a general sense has been,
yeah.
I
mean, Beholder, I guess. That's probably the last one. Songbird was West Coast.
Right. Yeah. Songbird, but it's almost like it feels like and you just named two like unbelievable horses.
Yep.
And that's kind of where it was at with Tomorrow. It was like, okay, well, she might be the one, like that next one. No, don't think so. All right, let's go back to Oaklawn on Saturday now, race 6. That's right. We're going to kick off with the Ring the Bell Stakes with 150K for going 6 furlongs for 3-year-olds. 3-year-olds and up. You got a field of 9 lines up here. Town Twist at 8-5, Rivet at 2-1, Osborne 5-1, Necker Island at 8-1. Listen, Rivet is a horse that has ran really, really well at times, has ran really, really bad at times, kind of rebounded and did it differently last time out, which was odd, right? But sitting there at 2-1, Tiana Twist, Hartman, this one has been really good as well. What do you think of this one?
You can't, this is Oaklawn through and through. You just look at these names, you're like, yeah, okay, this is definitely at Oaklawn. We don't have to even look what track it's at, with these horses. Look, I went with Rivet on top, your old friend Rivet. I kind of said in the preview for this race, when he gets in this type of race, he's pretty tough. He's just, they've moved him up to bigger and better competition, he hasn't done all that well. I think Tiano Twist is the main danger, but I think Rivet is in really, really good form right now, and I think he gets the best of Tiano Twist in this one. So give me the number 7 Rivet on top.
Yeah, listen, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you here, but I think there might be it's odd too, right? Because one key thing about Rivet, I feel like, is that for whatever reason, and I don't know if it's something that Asmussen has like worked on, or if I don't know, if maybe but since that, let's say the Maxfield, this horse has never been able to get to the lead, and it's almost like last time out, they kind of admitted to that, right? And said, okay, we're not going to even try now. And they did, and it worked, right? It completely worked. Now, again, that was a totally different track, way less quality, but still it worked. And what was happening in those other races is that he was just burning out because he couldn't get to the lead, and then, wasn't good enough. Listen, I went with the number 4, Top Gunner. I think this is an interesting one. Santana, the guy that we are both saying that probably could win the training title or the jockey title at Oaklawn this year. Talk about speed. This is a horse, throughout the Phoenix last time out, but this is a horse that's got a ton of early speed. Likes Oaklawn Park, 6 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds. Likes the distance. This is right up the horse's alley. This is what the horse runs. John Ortiz and Santana team up and run, an 18%. Couple bullets, or a bullet last time out. A couple really good works to kind of get the horse prepped into this one. I think the horse will be on his toes. So I think this is the everyone's saying, oh, Rivet, the speed. I don't know. Maybe this is the speed horse, and if that's the case, I think this was the one that might be tough to run down. So give me the 4 Top Gunner at 15-1. If you can't tell, I'm just taking shots at Oaklawn, man.
Yeah,
just taking shots because
smart.
It's just that it's the most fun track. It's also just it's so tough, especially when you talk about these kind of races on opening weekend.
Yeah.
But all right, let's final one here. Race 9, the Mistletoe Stakes, 150K, 1 mile, Fillies and Mares, 3-year-olds and up. Field of 11 lines up here. Halterman. take your pick, right? I mean, there are plenty of options, plenty of decent options. No one really stands out. Like other than a couple, it's like they're all pretty playable prices. Where are you going?
I got to go with my old friend Ice Orchid, the 10 horse. Ice Orchid.
I knew one of us would pick that horse, so I'm glad it was you.
Just every time it's like, yeah, this makes sense today. And the worst thing about it is I was done with her, and then she's looked better the last couple times. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. So give me the 10 Ice Orchid. Look, she's ran, I think, back-to-back, two of her best races of her whole career. She won an allowance at Churchill. Then she finished second, only got beat ahead in another allowance. They were both pretty tough fields, even though they had allowance by them, but they were tougher. I think she's the one.
Dennis says he hates Ice Orchid. So.
I feel so much better about it now.
I know. I think I'm singling now. I didn't like her. I wasn't going to play her on top here, but now I am. No, I'm going to go number 2, Misty Vale for me, for Mike Maker. Listen, this is one of those horses that just you kind of like. This horse has ran 32 times and 6 starts, 5-year-old. 6 starts at Oaklawn Park, though. 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. So, I mean, loves Oaklawn Park. Hasn't won at this distance, but it's ran well every time. 4 starts, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. I like the fact that this horse has been running longer and now shortening up. With this race, the way this race is kind of set up, I think this is going to help with the 2 Misty Vale. And this is one of those races, in my opinion, that has been running some nice races, ran in some grade 3 races. 3 of the last 4 races have been grade 3 races. Hasn't won, obviously, but, is obviously facing much less as far as what's been in some of those races. There's no search results here. There's no hidden connection. There's no nostalgic, no gerrymander, like one of those horses in this race, 1 to 5. And so to me, it's like, okay, he gets the class relief, hasn't been running terrible, gets the distance, gets back to Oaklawn where she likes. Give me the two Misty Vale. Another
thing on Misty Vale, that Zagara that beat her last time, that's a really nice horse. That's a horse that'd be 1 to 9 in this spot. And it says on the past performances that Misty Vale lost by 6 3/4. That's accurate, but Zagara was 6.5 ahead of the rest. Yeah. So, after you got her out of the race, it would have been very competitive, and Misty Vale could have gotten there. One last thing, I played an exacta, and I had Misty Vale in second. So,
you look at, this is a while back, but back in May at Pimlico, this is a horse, Interstate Daydream beat this horse, Misty Vale, and beat La Davida. This horse did, Misty Vale. Yep. So, I mean, the point of what I'm trying to make is like, while it's tough to do when you look at some of these races, but man, she's faced some good ones, and she's ran in some. I mean, from more than most of these horses can say that are in this race. So,
yep, for sure.
Give me the 2 Misty Vale, and hopefully likes coming back home. I guess I don't know if that's home for her, but home in a sense. All right, Halterman. This should close it out. That's a wrap for Rapid Fire.
One last thing. Dennis says, why doesn't Diodoro have the 9 anymore? He also doesn't have the 4. He does. He's suspended right now from Oaklawn. I don't know if it's this weekend or 2 weekends, but he is. That's why you're going to see Williams. That's just an assistant. He'll be back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's racing for you. All right, it's that time of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year. All right, it's time for the Racing Dudes Triple Crown Fantasy Horse Racing League draft order announcement. You're going to do whatever you do. I'll give it to you here in a sec. You can do your thing, draw the order. I'm sure we'll all get screwed, or at least I will, because it's that time of the year I love getting screwed. And whoa, hang on, Cooper. But no,
who doesn't?
Who doesn't love it? But all right, Halterman, take it away. You can kind of let everyone know what's going on here.
All right, so we got 11 teams this year. We usually have 10. Now we've got 11. The team Double Ds are the new team. It has been Dr. Miranda and Dr. Tang. So that'll be very, very exciting that we got the new team. So we're into 11. We have expanded. I have got the number generator now. So here we go.
Oh, I hate the number generator.
There it is.
I've never had a successful number generator session. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, listen. So we're going to draw the draft order. It's just like how they draw the numbers, right? So I've got every team labeled 1 through 11. So I'll click the generator once, and that'll give us the team. And then I'll click the generator again, and that will give us the draft order. All right. Are you ready?
By the way, Rodney is not happy with you.
Rodney, there's people that asked for years and haven't gotten in yet. So you're getting closer. I do think I will be honest. You were next on the list, Rodney. So we keep adding teams. You can't add 100 teams, or I would, because you run out of horses. Rodney's getting closer, though. He was definitely on the consideration list. He missed it by 1. But
for the record, Rodney, I said you should. I said, why are we not doing 12 teams? 11 teams is craziness. So if you would have listened to me, you would have been in. But maybe we can add a 12th team next year, and you can get in.
So what we're going to do next year, and Rodney will be able to get in, the team that finishes last is out, unless it's a legacy team that's won the league in the past. So, like, say Team Doctors finish 11th, they're out, and then Rodney / somebody give Rodney a partner, they'd be in. So that's just kind of how that's going to work, and that's the best way I can do it. I know a lot of people want to play. I try as hard as I can to get as many people possible, but I also can't have 50 teams because we got to draft 5 horses each, and you just run out of horses. So
I feel like 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 a judge or whatever, that like once you're in, you can literally cannot be like you have the job for life. Like that's me. I've won a few times.
Yep.
My job is safe. I'm just gonna coast my way through here.
So Rodney's saying, "Come on, Dennis, let's do it." Rodney, Dennis turned me down, so he will never be asked again, unfortunately. But Rodney, start scouting for a new partner. All right, so here we go. It is 11 teams. So Shotty and Davey 1, you, Jared, are 2, John and Ryan 3, Magic Mike Show 4, myself 5, Geist 6, Paul 7, Kelby and Evil Stevel 8, Vinny 9, Dan and Michael Austin 10, and then the Team Double D's 11. So this is not the official generator, but just to show you, I'm going to click this. So it will, just to prove it is generating different numbers. So, all right, here we go. This is it. The first one, 5, myself. So I am first. Okay, so 5. Now I will click it again. Whatever number comes up, that will be my draft position. Okay. So it's me.
So you're okay. I thought you just got the 1 pick.
No. Now you click it for the draft position. Here we go. 7. I will be number 7.
Wow. Snap.
All right. Now we click it again for the next team. I will delete myself. All right. The next team number is 1. That is Shotty and Davey. So Shotty and Davey.
Okay. By the way, I like the way you're doing this. This is a decent system. Okay, but go ahead.
Of course. All right. Shotty and Davey. Here it is. 4.
Woo! Yeah.
So Shotty and Davey, the defending champions, will draft at 4. Okay, let me delete Shotty and Davey. Okay, random generator 8. That'll be Kelby and Evil Stevel.
Oh,
all right. Their draft position will be. Oh no! Oh no! I can't wait for Evil Stevel to hear this.
I'm done. I'm done.
Wow.
I can't. Hang on a second.
Wow. I will talk while he's gone. So Kelby and Evil Stevel will draft number 1. So they will have the number 1 pick. We'll see what happens here. Kelby, Evil Stevel at 1. So if you're just joining, Kelby and Evil Stevel will have the first pick. Shotty Davey pick 4. Myself pick 7. Jared's back. We'll do the next one. Okay, here we go.
Can't even. I mean, it doesn't. Didn't they have the number 1 pick 2 years ago or something last year? I don't know. Dude, they did. They had I don't know, someone had it. They had it, I mean, but I don't remember who it was. But go ahead.
All right. 3, John and Ryan. They cannot get the number 1 pick this year. All right. John and Ryan's pick will be 7. Nope. Okay, I'll click it again because 7's already taken. 3. John and Ryan will have number 3. So John and Ryan, number 3.
Perfect. That's probably what they wanted. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. All right, let's back to the generator here. Three's already been called. 11. The Team Double D's. Team Double D's, the new team in the league. All right, where are they getting? 2. Oh, this is bad.
I don't know why I show up for this, to be honest.
This is bad. So Evil Stevel and Kelby are 1, and Team Double D's are 2.
See how these two teams can screw it up.
All right, next team on the list. Let's go here. 3's already been taken. I may have to reorder these here in a second. 7. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. 7. 7 was the one I picked. So Paul is 7. So let's generate the number here for Paul.
Oh, Paul, you would have got 1. Too bad.
No, he wouldn't have because that's already taken. So 7 for Paul. Let's see where he gets for the draft order. He's 8. So Paul will be number 8.
That 10 is 11 taken yet? The 11th draft pick.
So here's what's left: 5, 6, 9, 10, 11.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely getting 9 through 11 somewhere.
And there are 5 teams left: Jared, Magic Mike, Geist, Vinny, and then Dan and Michael Lawson.
We can definitely still push for Magic Mike to get 11. That would work too.
All right. The generator says 5. That's been drawn 5 again. 2. That's you, Jared. Okay. Here we go. Are you ready?
5. Give me 5.
Are you ready?
Just give it to me. Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah, I told you 9 through 11. So
okay.
Perfect.
So there are 4.
I don't even know 9 horses right now.
All right. Let's generate here. Let me get the next number that has not been used. I may have to. Oh, there's Vinny. Okay. The 9 is Vinny. So we'll see. Okay. Here he goes. 5, 6, or 10, 11. 3, 3, 2, 1, 8. Come on. Give me something here. Not 9. Not 4. That has 10. There you go. Vinny's the 10. We'll see. You beat Vinny at least.
It's true. And there's still hope that the Magic Mike can get 11.
So yeah, 5, 6, and 11 are here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reroute this to 3 so I don't click this 1,000 times.
Okay.
So Magic Mike is 1, Geist is 2, Dan and Michael Lawson are 3. And then if it comes up 1 for the draw, then that's the 5 slot. 2 will be the 6 slot. 3 will be the 11 slot. Are you okay?
I already can tell there's going to be some issues with this. I'm just saying.
But are you okay with it?
I don't really care at all. So
okay, we're going to do it then. So 2 is Geist. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, let's see what he is. 2. So he'll be the 6.
Okay.
All right.
Oh man. Oh baby.
So this is
like drawing the rail or the derby. Who's going to be?
All right. We're renumbering it to 2. Magic Mike is 1. Dan and Michael Lawson are 2. All right.
Okay. Come on, baby.
All right. 2. So Dan and Michael Lawson. Now, if this next number comes up 2, they're drafting 11th. If it comes up 1, they're drafting 5th. All right.
Big difference, guys.
1, and that means Magic Mike will be 11.
Woo! Wow, you know what? It makes my 9th pick not look so bad now.
Yeah. So to recap, I love how that worked out. To recap it, Kelby and Evil Stevel will draft first, Team Double D's second, John and Ryan third, Shotty and Davey fourth, Dan and Michael Austin fifth, Geist sixth, myself seventh, Paul eighth, Jared ninth, Vinny 10th, and the Magic Mike Show 11th.
So the dream team drafts Paul, you, and me all draft there in a row there. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I think I had it either last or second to last pick one year, I remember. And, so you have that. The only plus side is you have that double whammy, right? The only downside is if you miss on those, you don't pick for like what feels like an eternity.
That's right. Yeah. So that is the bad. Like Magic Mike will do 11 and then they'll go 12 because it's a snake style draft. So yeah, I mean, for Kelby and Evil Stevel, they get the first pick and then they got to wait all the way to the last round or the last pick of the second round. So, but I'm guessing they'll take Fierceness and that will be a very good start for them.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping to get that one spot just so I didn't have to do any research from the first round. So I mean,
now
I have to. Now I got to find 8 different horses to get to my 9. So
proof that Dennis isn't very good at math. So we all draft 5 horses. There's 11 teams. So the most you would need to know are 55, not 75.
Well, no, I mean, he did turn down the league, so no one claimed he was smart. All right. I assume send me. Well, no, send me the order. Are you going to post this?
I will. I'm going to send an email to everybody.
Are you going to send an order though? Or are you going to send the order? Are you going to put the order on somewhere on the site somewhere? I can put it in the Blinkers Off post if you want me to.
Okay.
So, yeah. Once you email it to me, I'll add it to the Blinkers Off post on the website. So if you guys want to see that order, to see where you're either drafting or if you're following along, there you go. So, and the draft will be when?
The draft will be the 21st of December. 21st. Thursday the 21st. We've got what's that?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yes. Right. Their springboard mile is the 15th, and so then right after that we will draft that next week.
There you go. All right. That's all the time we have, guys. Check us out at racingdudes.com for our free picks and our premium selections on our products page. Click the Get Racing Dudes premium button at menu racingdudes.com to learn more. Remember, you can check out the best bets page. Yeah. Paul, I'll trade with you, Paul, just to have something to do. Make sure you check out the best bets page. If you want to check out our free premium page, get an idea of what the premium bets are like. Or if you want to see the draft order, just click on the Blinkers Off post that will be on the website and learn more. Racing Dudes are on Twitter at Racing_Dudes, Instagram and Facebook. You can find all episodes of the Blinkers Off by visiting our podcast page, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the places you listen to. We are there. The Magic Mike Show, they might be live now. So switch on over. They're not going to wait to the Magic Mike Show where they're covering the Gulfstream Park Pick 5. When are they doing that? Is that Gulfstream Park they're doing? No.
I guess. I don't know.
That was an old one. I was like, no, really? Gulfstream Park? I don't know.
That's what they would be doing.
It's not on the website yet, but I don't know what they're doing, to be honest with you. No. I'm about done, Coop. What are they doing? So I guess just tune in and find out what they're doing because there's nothing on there. Any final thoughts, Halterman? Yeah,
I guess go listen to Magic Mike, and then they're going to warm up for Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports going on at 5:00 right after Magic Mike. So
there you go. Take a break. Go eat some dinner or something. Get your energy back, and then stay tuned for what are you guys talking about?
We're going to rant about college football, and we're also going to do the NFL picks. So
perfect. I feel like you and I have had I've had some ranting sessions with you. It's a lot. It feels like everyone there's something to talk about with that. So make sure you go check out the Magic Mike Show right now, and then stick around for the Dudes Who Bet Sports later on with Halterman and his dad. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Congrats to who got number 1? Oh, yeah.
Kelby and Evil.
Kelby's probably like, oh, yeah, I forgot we were playing in that this year.
Yeah, I just text Kelby. You might be hearing my phone go or my computer go off. He loves it. He's very excited.
Can't screw it up this time, Kelby. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jared Welch, Aaron Halterman. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Blinkers Off. Join our horse racing community at racingdudes.com and follow us on Twitter at racing_dudes. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.